Hi, so my name is Daisy. This is my first vlog and very nervous for it. Not used to doing something like this, so bear with me. I'm sure I'll get better. Today, I want to talk about something that's honestly hard to talk about. I feel like often on social media, I see mostly the positive side of the trans experience depicted. And we talk a lot about sharing our truths. And if I'm being honest, a lot of my truth about my own experience as a trans woman isn't the most positive. I do deal with a lot of self-hate. A lot of it. I've been trying to think about why that is this week. So I was talking to a friend and explaining, I knew I was a woman. I knew I was a girl from a very young age. Let's say 5, because I really don't have memories that go before that. Despite feeling this way, I didn't really see anyone in my community, on television, anywhere, that was this way. Nowhere. I didn't think people like me existed, and because of that, I didn't feel like I could share those feelings because I must have been crazy, right? So, the next thing I shared with my friend is the moment that really stands out is the first time I saw anyone like me represented in any way on screen. And that is in the classic Jim Carrey movie, Ace Ventura. Now, for those of you who don't know the movie, I won't go through all the details, but it's Jim Carrey plays a detective, a little off-kilter, of course, and through a series of hidden identity, he finds out that the villain he's after is actually a trans woman, and he, in the scene before, had kissed this woman, and upon finding out, he made himself vomit. And then later in the movie, for the heroic climax, to reveal this woman's identity as a man, he strips her down in front of a large group until her penis is revealed. And of course, the audience reacts in disgust, laughter. And the audience I was with reacted much the same. I must have been, 8 or 9. I was in a basement at a sleepover with probably 7 or 8 boys. And oh my God, everyone was cracking up. It was the first time I saw someone like me. And as I continued growing up in my community, often the mention of a trans woman, a tranny, in itself was cause for laughter. It was the punchline, it was the setup, it was the punchline, it was the whole joke. Just the mention, just the existence of someone like me would elicit laughter. Obviously, in society. We're in a different place now. And, obviously I can look back now and say, yeah, the fact that that scene exists, it's fucked up. The fact that I grew up in a culture that treated people like myself that way, yeah, that's fucked up. But, that's self-hate. I learned it. That revulsion to trans people, I learned it. I really internalized those lessons. And I'm still struggling to unlearn those lessons. I started the coming out process about 2 years ago when I started my transition. And I remember speaking those words, speaking, I am trans. I'm a trans woman. Speaking that to... I remember being on the phone with my grandmother saying it. And as I was saying it, I felt a deep humiliation well up. Just from stating that fact. It was humiliating. It is humiliating. It feels that way for me. That humiliation stays with me whenever I look in the mirror. Whenever I walk outside, it's in me. And it hurts, it still hurts. Dealing with gender dysphoria, dealing with not feeling like you have the right genitalia. That is a deep pain that I really don't know how to communicate to those who don't suffer it. And I'm not asking people to understand it. But I shouldn't have to deal with that feeling of humiliation on top of it. That self-hatred that I was taught, I learned, I internalized, and it's still with me. Even despite the almost 2 years now of being out as a trans woman, I'm still humiliated by the fact that I'm a trans woman. I seek surgeries and changing my body. Because, I do suffer dysphoria, but also a lot of me wants to erase my transness. I think for a long time I buried these memories, these feelings deep down. And I'm not going to get better by keeping them there. I'm not going to get better until I'm able to voice them, to share them. Then I can move past them. Maybe this will help other folks understand part of that journey. Maybe it will help other trans women or any trans folks to process their own pain. But, again, we talk a lot about speaking our truths in the community, and this is a huge part of my truth as a trans woman. I want to get better. I'm going to get better. And this feels like a necessary part of the journey. I'm sure I'll be doing more videos in the future, but I just felt it necessary to get that off my chest. Much love to everyone, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. Bye.